It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 28th day of June, 2024, coming to you from Central Virginia, Bedford County area. I'm really excited about today's show, folks. So we do have a special guest this morning. We'll get to some news eventually. The main stories today: Amsterdam reduces visits. AMA opens 2026 early. Crystal to double in size. Princess price guarantee. Carnival fixes check-in glitch. And 450 new voyages from AIDA cruises. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Food Truck Day. I got no problem with that. I mean, since I was in that business for a lot of years, I got no problem at all with going out and having a little lunch from one of the food trucks around town. And I highly recommend all of y'all do that during the day today. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. All right, it's always fun to have special guests. He's been on the show, oh, Lord, I don't even remember how many times now. He's author Ivan Cox, better known as Dr. Gerald Vukevich, who is a emergency room doctor up there in Martha's Vineyard. So, Katie, if you stump your toe while you're visiting up there this summer, you go in to see Dr. Jerry there at the emergency room, and he'll tell you, take 2 aspirin and call me tomorrow. So that's, I'm sure that's the way he does it. With no further ado, here's my friend, my co-host for the upcoming Cruise Ship Doctor Cruise, author Ivan Cox. Jerry Vukevich, welcome back to Chillie Chats.
Thank you, Chillie. By the way, I want to correct you a little bit. First of all, I'm not in the emergency rooms anymore. I'm just doing more walk-in clinic here on Martha's Vineyard at Vineyard Medical Care. Second of all, instead of saying take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning, I'll say take 2 aspirin and call another doctor. Okay.
Okay. That's the way to do it up there.
I try to give the illusion of compassion and competency. Anything beyond that is gravy. So good to see you again.
It's always good to see you. All right. So since you were here last, we probably have gotten, I don't know, a couple thousand, especially on the podcast, a couple thousand new listeners, and maybe 1,000 new viewers on the channel. Wonderful. So give us a background. How did Cruise Ship Doctor, the book, how did it come about? And give us a bit on your background.
Okay, well, back many years ago, I was working as an emergency room doctor up in Concord, Massachusetts. And at a party, I opened a Chinese fortune cookie, and it said, soon we'll have new job on high seas, which I thought was kind of absurd. And a couple of days later, I went into work, and there was a nurse there who had been visiting her boyfriend on the cruise ship as a guest, and she showed me pictures, and I said, how do you get a job like that? She gave me the phone number. 2 weeks later, I was walking up the gangplank on the MS Starward, and the nurse who showed me around introduced me on my first cruise. She said, and she had North Carolina accent. She said, well, I've shown you the hospital, and I've shown you your cabin, and for your information, Mr. I sleep with the captain, so there'll be no funny business between us. And at that very moment, I said, I got to write a book about this because it was so many extraordinary things happening immediately that I just got going on it, and it took me a number of years to quote research the book and write it. And then I rewrote it again back about 3 years ago. It was published just at the time when COVID came out. And I thought, boy, would I love to do a cruise and introduce people to Cruise Ship Doctor. And so, of course, for a long time there with COVID, it was not the best thing to do to get people on cruise ships. And but now I think we're much safer, and so Chillie's helped us put this thing together, and it's coming out in November. We're going to have, it's not quite exactly the itinerary that we had that is in the novel. Let me just mention that if you read 50 pages of Cruise Ship Doctor every day, then you will finish the book on your last day of the cruise. So it's engineered to be a perfect 1 week cruise colleague and guide. Also, I'm happy to report that the audiobook will be out probably in about a month. I'm recording it right now. I just finished the Blood Pudding, which is now available on, that's a story about my father's youth in Pittsburgh. That's out on Audible, and you can get it on Amazon or Audible very soon. And Cruise Ship Doctor will be out. Thank you. Cruise Ship Doctor will be out very shortly. So that's all happening. So people can listen to the book on their way in the airport, or they can listen on the cruise ship, and then we'll talk about it. I'll read from it. And Adele Dreyer, who is a fabulous pianist, has also agreed to do some of the intro music on Cruise Ship Doctor. She did it on Blood Pudding too. She's going to be along for the ride. And I might mention also, I looked down the list of some of the people who have signed up for this cruise. The nurse who was that woman who told me about her sleeping with the captain, she's going to be on the cruise too. So she'll tell you the truth about what happened back then.
All right, so what we're talking about, folks, this is the Cruise Ship Doctor Cruise. It sails from Port Canaveral on November the 16th. I do have stick with us to the end of this interview, because I got something special for you. I'll just say that at this point. But anyway, it's a 7-night cruise from Port Canaveral. Stops a day at sea, then it stops at Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic, at St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. By the way, that's my favorite island in the Caribbean. Another day at sea, and then to Norwegian's private island, Great Stirrup Key in the Bahamas, and then back into Port Canaveral. It's just going to be, not only is it a good cruise, and it's on the Epic, which I love the Epic. I've been on her twice. I've got 3 more cruises booked on the Epic. So, it's just such a good ship. And I will show you, folks, if you're on the group with us, there are 2 secret elevators on the Epic. And one of them, nobody knows about. The other 2, a few people know about it. There's 2 elevators that go from the main deck with the pool up one deck, which is used for handicapped folks or disabled folks, so they can take their wheelchairs or their walkers and not have to go upstairs. And that goes up one deck. Now, those are reasonably accessible if you're looking from the pool toward the buffet. On the outside in the pool area, they have 2 serving stations on each side of the deck. Immediately opposite those serving stations, with the doors to the elevators face the serving stations. Okay, from the pool you can't see them, so you have to go into the service station and do a U-turn to get on these elevators. Okay, The first time I was on the cruise, I never did find my way to get up one deck. Then the other one, folks, takes you up to deck 14. I think it's 14. I never can remember the numbers on cruise ships. But it's an absolutely private area for sunning. If you're a complete idiot for getting in the sun. Now, there's no bars up there. There's no pool to get in, but it's an entire deck that nobody knows about. So there's a couple hundred empty chairs up there on the top deck that you can sit up there and just enjoy. So a couple of hidden elevators that I'll show you how to get to them. All right, back to some silliest. What do you plan to do on this cruise to make it interesting?
We're going to tell secrets about what happens. You're showing us how the elevators work and where they can be detected. Just stories. By the way, I wanted to finish that story about the nurse who was my guide on my first trip. She came up here to Martha's Vineyard with her sister a couple summers ago. We had lunch together, and her sister said, "Well, you're the guy that wrote that book, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, I knew it had to be a dirty book if my sister was in it." So anyway, she has her sister said some good humor. Anyways, yeah. So we're going to be playing some of the music. Adele Dreyer and I are both going to do a little keyboard work because in Cruise Ship Doctor, each story, each chapter begins with the doctor playing the piano because he was sorry for the siren going outside. That's my emergency room experience behind me now in the rearview mirror. But we're going to be doing a little bit of music, talking about different scenes from the ship. And anybody who's read this book knows there's a lot of wild stuff that goes on. There's animals, there's crazy humans, there's people from all different kinds of nationality. I'm doing the narration on Cruise Ship Doctor now, and some of the characters are hard. Their foreign accents are kind of hard to get. But there's a French Haitian tailor on the island named Francois. I went down and recorded his voice, so I'm imitating that. The Haitian accent is very difficult. But I'm trying to get them all right and make these characters come alive the way they do on the page. And I hope people enjoy it. They seem to love to read the book, and I'm hoping some of them will also say, well, let's go aboard and see what it's really like. I think it'd be a good way for people who've never been on a cruise before to kind of be coming for some kind of event thing. I was working as a cruise ship doctor for about 8 years and was served only on Norwegian cruise lines, which is gratifying that I'll be back on the NCL line again for this cruise. And I'm anxious to see the Epic. I've seen pictures, and Chillie's descriptions are pretty wonderful, and I bet they even have good pizza on it, right? So,
oh, yes.
So we're going to have a good time, and, we already have a pretty good crew of people that are signed up, and I'm thinking it's going to be very successful and enjoyable. And when November comes, boy, if you live in New England, you're ready for some sunshine, and that will be available.
All right, tell me one before I get to my good news on this. Tell me about your singing group, because I've talked to a couple of the people in your singing group.
Okay, well, our singing group, I went to Princeton, and I was lucky enough to join a group called the Princeton Nassoons, which was actually started back in 1942, 43, and has been going continuously since then. My cohort were from class of 65 to 75, and we get together every so often, have reunions. Last spring we did we sang the national anthem at Fenway Park, and we still sound pretty good. We're going down to Newport in October this year. We're going to entertain down there, and so some of my buddies are going to hopefully come on board and sing with me. So we might sneak up on people and harmonize them.
That would be great.
I hope so. We have quite a repertoire. We can sing 40 to 50 songs, and we're still putting that together, but I'm looking forward to that. If they come aboard, it'll be all the more fun. Adele is a fabulous entertainer, and just can play anything, and she's just my inspiration too. So we're looking forward to that element. Music is critical. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about money. Everybody that wants to go on a cruise is always interested in money. So here's the deal, folks. Don't worry about it, Jerry. This is a live show. Things like that happen. It happens to me here too. All right, guys, just totally ignore the little box down there with the dollars in it, because as of this morning, two things have happened. One, that is an inside cabin, the 1115. That 1115 now for an inside cabin has been reduced to $1,035. That part is nice. That's per person for an inside cabin. But even better, that inside cabin with all four perks, that's the drinks package, the Wi-Fi, specialty dining package, $50 rebate on any booked excursions. Okay. The four perks are available for an additional $50. It's $1,085 loaded. That's with everything, taxes, port charges, and the four perks. If you want a balcony, the price today is $1,285. With the perks, it's $1,375. So, I mean, now there's no guarantee how long this is going to last. It may last just today. It may be today and tomorrow. It may be until the cruise sells out. I have no idea. Historically, they don't leave this very long. They'll run a special and drop it off. For solos out there, if you got some solo folks, the studio loaded, that's the studio cabin with everything, including the drinks package, all that stuff is $1,550 per person. That's per cabin, that's solo. And the solo balcony is $23.95. Okay, that's the only one that's not a really great deal, is a solo balcony. But the other prices, that's awesome. So here's your chance, folks. And all you have to do is call me, 434-258-9264, or text me to the same number, or send up smoke signals, or call Jerry. I don't care. Slap a deposit down. Now, we're getting close to where the final deposits are due. They're doing the middle is 16th, I think it is, of July. So we're not too far until we got to, pay for the rest of the cruise. But man, put a deposit down, whatever they're asking for today. I didn't check deposits to see what those are. Put a deposit down to get to hold your space and join us, because it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's my good news for today, Jerry.
Bravo. Wonderful.
All right. I can't wait. I am so looking forward to this. And folks, Jerry and I have never met. I mean, we've met online a bunch of times.
But we're soul partners all the way.
We are. We are definitely that. And so excited about doing this with Jerry and all the folks. And I will tell you, folks, I also have talked to the nurse. I'm just saying, I have chatted with the nurse actually a couple times. There may be more stories coming. You just don't know.
Definitely.
All right. Jerry, I got to get back to work and do some news and stuff.
Well, from schmooze to news, I'm always happy dealing with you, Chillie. You're a prince, and I can't wait to meet you and have an adult beverage with you in person.
Oh yeah, we will definitely have several. I can guarantee it.
And just one, I want to point out, I got my epaulets here from the cruise. You know, I told you about the Chinese fortune cookie, and within no time at all, I was walking up the plank, and they slapped these things on my shoulders. 3 stripes. The captain only has 4. How lucky am I, right? Anyway, we're gonna have fun. Thanks so much, Chillie.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Aha. Testing 1, 2, 3. Now, can everybody hear me now? I called and Roger, but he seems to be having trouble figuring it out. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Is that working? Hear you now. Okay, so what? My mic died. All right, so I put on a second mic. Sorry about that. That was a mic issue, folks. I'll just leave that sitting there. All right. Wow, that was awful. Okay, so again, I will thank Jerry for being with us. Sorry about that glitch at the end. So I'm looking forward to the cruise immensely. It's going to be just fabulous. All right. I'll be back after that glitch with some news after a quick break from one of our network sponsors.
Faced with strong demand for its 2024-2025 seasons, award-winning river cruise line AMA Waterways has decided to open reservations early this year for the 2026 season on all its cruise products and pre- and post-cruise land packages. That includes Europe, Egypt, Asia, Colombia, Africa safaris, and wildlife cruises. The city of Amsterdam has agreed that cruise ship visits will be nearly cut in half for 2026 and beyond. Additional limitations will be in effect as work is done to remove the cruise terminal from its current downtown location by 2035. The move is not a surprise, as Amsterdam has been exploring such limits for some time. In fact, the number of river cruise visits has already been slashed to a maximum of 1,150 calls annually by 2028, a decision that was announced in April. The limits on ocean ships will be far more strict. Currently, the passenger terminal Amsterdam receives 190 cruise ship visits per year, which will be reduced to no more than 100 per year beginning in 2026. Furthermore, to reduce overall congestion, only one berth will be used at a time, and ships will be required to use shore power by 2027. Rather than calling in Amsterdam, many cruise lines will likely relocate their port of call visits to Rotterdam, roughly 40 miles away. Crystal Cruises announced plans to double its fleet size with the order of 2 new ocean vessels from Italy's Fincantieri shipyard. The preliminary agreement revealed yesterday calls for delivery of the first ship in the spring of 2028, while the launch plans for the second ship are expected to be announced later this summer. Both of the newly ordered ships will accommodate 690 guests in all suite staterooms and will feature luxury amenities and high-end finishes that upmarket guests expect from Crystal. Hey cruisers, join my friend Nate Valier on the NCL Encore Southampton to Miami transatlantic, sailing December 3rd. With stops in Vigo, Lisbon, and Ponta Delgado, this looks to be an awesome trip and an awesome deal. Prices start at $856 per person, but the really super deal is for the solo balconies that are $1,056, and with the free at sea, $1,345, including taxes and port charges. That's with everything. So, great deal on the NCL Encore, Southampton to Miami, sailing December 3rd. For more information or to book this fabulous transatlantic cruise on the Norwegian Encore, call or text 434-258-9264. Princess Cruises has launched a new program to provide guests with the best possible rates for its 2025 and 2026 cruises. The new better than the best price guarantee ensures that if a guest finds a lower price for the same cruise, stateroom category, and sail date before their final payment, Princess Cruises will match the lower rate. In addition, Princess Cruises will provide passengers with 120% of the difference in the form of onboard credit. The guarantee is available on bookings made between July the 1st and September the 2nd of 2024. Carnival Cruise Line has verified that a known glitch with its online check-in system has been corrected and clarified exactly when guests can complete the check-in process for their upcoming sailings. Because of time zone issues, the problem has not been noticeable to every passenger, but has caused difficulty for guests crossing time zones to reach their embarkation ports. From Alesund in Norway to Zakynthos in Greece, 450 cruises from AIDA Summer Program 2026 are now open for booking. Planning ahead is an advantage, as indicated by the calendar and early booking bonus of up to €300 per person. A rare natural spectacle awaits in the form of a total solar eclipse on August 12, 2026, which will darken the skies over Greenland, Iceland, and Spain for about 2 minutes. Guests on 5 AIDA ships will have the opportunity to witness this event up close. Beginning on August the 7th, AIDA Sol will embark from Hamburg, navigating through the English Channel and the Bay of Biscay towards the eclipse. Meanwhile, in the Western Mediterranean, AIDA Cosma and AIDA Stella will set sail from Mallorca on August 7th, 8th, and 9th. AIDA Bella and AIDA Luna will also offer eclipse-focused cruises, bookable starting July 31st, 2024. Other natural phenomena are also anticipated in 2026. The Perseids meteor shower, visible on clear nights between July 17th and August 24th, will be observable from the Baltic Sea region, where AIDA Diva will journey from Rostock, Warnemund to various Baltic coast highlights. Hamana on the Gulf of Finland, a new addition to the Baltic program, offers a unique fortified city layout with its circular design centered around the town hall. A chance to see the Aurora Borealis, or Northern Lights, is available on the autumnal Northern Lights cruises aboard AIDA Sol, departing from Hamburg. The 14-day voyages will include stops in Leknes and Bodo, the Lofton Islands, and Tromsø, Norway. For those anticipating the World Cup finals of 2026, mark your calendars for July 19th. Although the teams are yet to be decided, AIDA Mar will be in Stockholm on the City of the Baltic Sea from Warnemund cruise, while AIDA Sol will be in Portsmouth on the Great Britain and Ireland from Hamburg voyage. AIDA Stella will commence its 10-day Spain, Portugal, and Balearic Islands from Mallorca cruise from Palma de Mallorca on this notable soccer day. Midsummer's Day, a significant holiday in the Nordic calendar, will be celebrated on June 24th with traditional dances, flower decorations, and culinary delights. In the summer of 2026, 8 AIDA ships will depart from Hamburg, Kiel, and Warnemund on various northern routes, visiting the Baltic Sea, Norwegian fjords, Scotland, and Iceland. A highlight will be AIDA Primus voyages to the Norwegian fjords, including Geigeren Fjord and Norske Fjord, both of which are World Heritage Sites. For the Easter holidays, AIDA Prima invites guests on an Easter voyage through the Mediterranean. For Pentecost, AIDA Blues Greece cruises are enticing, with new stops in Zakynthos and Bodrum. Zakynthos is a bathing paradise in the Ionian Sea, while Bodrum offers excellent swimming, water sports, and cultural treasures. In the summer of 2026, AIDA Cosma, AIDA Stella, AIDA Blue will be sailing the Mediterranean, featuring itineraries along the Adriatic coast, the Greek and Turkish islands, and the Western Mediterranean. Cruise around the world with the Will Model C2. That's the chair that I use. Our chairs will easily fit through accessible cabin doors and can navigate those tight spaces and crowded places. To see if Will may be right for you, click on the link below to schedule a test drive. Just tell them to use code Chillie for all your mobility needs. That's scootaroundstore.com.
And that's going to wrap up the news portion of today's show. Again, my thanks to Dr. Gerald Vukevich, Jerry, a.k.a. Ivan Cox, for being with me today. And also, guys, my apologies for that glitch there, which we have a big hole that I'll have to edit out when my microphone, I guess it died. So anyway, I have had a backup microphone. It's just I didn't realize that it was even low on juice. So anyway, let's go over and see who's in the chat room today. Fussing at me, as it were. All right. Oh, there's one we don't know. Oziyama Onimayachi says, hey to you too. Hot Air Tom's with us, says, happy Friday to both me and to Ivan. Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Hot Air Tom is answering Kim that the next cruise is with me on the Gym in September. We take Amtrak to Boston on the 3rd, stay in Boston 8 days after the cruise, Amtrak to Manhattan, 2 nights in New York, and then Amtrak back to Richmond. Hot Air says we were ripped off. The promo was almost done before the live started. What, my intro? I was not aware that I cut the intro off. Oh, well. I know Hot Air Tom's he's on top of things. Bob's with us. Good morning, Bob. Steve's with us out in Kentucky. Good morning, Steve. There's Roger down in Jacksonville. Roger says farewell to one of Nikki's favorites, Kinky Friedman. Wow. One of the wild Samoans. Well, sorry to hear that, Roger. Gary Older Than Dirt's with us. Hi, Gary. I guess Chillie is a nobody since nobody knows about the elevator, and he does. Well, it took me a while to find him, but I did, and I have done clips on him too, so I'm not completely hiding out on him. But literally, people don't know about the one. I can't remember the deck now. Maybe it's 17. Do I have that where I can get at it quickly? Probably not. But I tell you what, while I'm talking, I can look that up. Norwegian epic location. I know this is just absolutely wonderful, wonderful live programming when you're looking something up on the fly. And so the hidden elevator that nobody knows about, called the AIDA elevator. Oh, it takes you up to deck 19. That's what it does. So, yeah, so you got a sun deck up there that nobody knows about. Absolutely nobody. So, and there's it's known as the AIDA elevator. So you can access decks that are not accessible. So, anyway, yeah, I'll show you all about that one. I just booked a second cabin on the 2026 Joy. Lots of crews next on my account to pay the deposit. Excuse me, I've got a frog in the throat, folks. Did you get the balcony on the Joy? Well, you might wonder, I booked an ADA inside cabin originally and will upgrade to a balcony with my NCL World points. But I was worried there might not be an ADA balcony cabin by the time I have. Okay. Oh, yeah, I don't blame you, Kenneth says. Enough points, so booked an ADA balcony cabin. I have the right to cancel and move upgrade to inside when the points upgrade is done. Okie doke. Danielle Cooper is here. How are you doing? We're doing good. Chillie's Cruises can bring Charmin along to relieve the tiger walking the ship corridors. If you have not read the book. Okay, so yeah. I wasn't going to give that away, Hot Air Tom, but Hot Air Tom has read the book, by the way. There's Yo Brooklyn in the house, Eddie. Hi, Eddie. Todd's with us. Joanne's here. Yeah, Joanne was saying, can't hear you now. That was when I was without audio. Chillie needs a signal. He's on mute. I called him. I was trying to figure it out. Todd says, got it. Hear you now. Yay. We now have sound. Thank you, guys. Everybody says it's working. Is anyone in the chat room going on the cruise ship, Dr. Cruise? I'm just going over the list from off the top of my head. I don't believe so, Hot Air Tom. What deck is your cabin on? It's on 12. I stuck that in later. I love the music on my cruise ads. Thank you, Hot Air Tom. I like that too. Roger says, I do have an independent deposit on the November cruise. That's great, Roger. I didn't know that either. Good. Join us. I'll bring a picture of Nikki to hang on the balcony door so we can all cruise together. That would be wonderful. Wedding picture, maybe. That would be cool, Roger. Yep. That would have been fun if Nikki was still with us. That would have been terrific. All right, guys. That's going to wrap me up for today. As always, thanks for being with me. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Take this as my invitation. Smash that bell notification so you'll know when I go live or when a new video is up. Thanks again to my friend Jerry Vukevich for joining me today. And that's it for the day, folks. Everybody have a great weekend. I'll see you back here on Monday. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you Monday.